station is conducting a test of the emergency broadcasting system. This is only a test.
The date is Friday, May 15th, 2026. Good morning. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, wherever you may be listening to this broadcast, this message, declaration, proclamation, audio, video, recording. And by now you know it is whatever you want to call it. Call it what you want to call it. Say what you want to say about it. Love it, hate it, despise it, embrace it. Refrain from embracing from it. Strike it down. Like it. Subscribe to it or share it. Just make sure you do it. While free speech is still available. While you can still speak your mind, while you can still rebuke, reprove a king. Before the total collapse of the United States of America, as we approach the 250th year of the United States of America, as we inch our way towards July, as we inch our way towards the summertime, yes, the United States of America, the American people, aren't doing so well. The American people are finding out that their quote-unquote peace president, the man who awarded himself a FIFA Peace Prize, isn't so peaceful after all. That the man who campaigned who made great promises to end all the drawn-out wars, to end the Ukrainian-Russian war within 72 hours of him becoming president, and bringing costs down for the American taxpayer, the sovereign citizen of the United States. Those are just some of the promises he has not kept. That's just some of the things that he said he would do, and he has done the exact opposite. But again, if you have learned anything, you understand that Donald Trump is merely the face of the corporation of the United States. You understand that he is merely a puppet on a string. He is the face of the United States, but he does not call the shots for the United States. That all the while there is this back and forth jargon between the Pope of Rome and Donald Trump. Anybody who knows anything about the New World Order, anybody who knows anything about the Illuminati and the order of the Illuminati, understand that that's all theatrics. That you are literally watching theater for you. Donald Trump has told the American people over and over again that we have won the Iran war, that they are obliterated, that they are annihilated, that they have won at times even. He's told the American people that the United States has won, and so on and so forth, multiple times. He is intentionally confusing you. He is intentionally causing confusion. That is his job, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. That's exactly his job, is to cause confusion, is to cause chaos, and out of his chaos, bring forth order. We recently had a false flag active shooter attempt on the President of the United States, so-called. And once again, if you've been following these broadcasts, you already know where I stand. It's not hard to figure out what I'm about to say here, other than the fact that that was nothing more, nothing less than just staged theater for you. Staged theater for you, just like Butler, Pennsylvania was staged theater for you. Again, aside of the secret societies, the New World Order, the Illuminati, agenda aside of that, if you understand that either these security forces are some of the most incompetent, useless organizations, useless security officers that have ever been known. And these are some of the most monumental breakdowns in security breach of all time. Or it's staged. It's either one of the two. Anyone with half a brain understands that looking into these two stories, now this second one, and there's the third one too. This is really the third. There's a second that happened on his beach in Mar-a-Lago, and I haven't really gone in deep on that one at all. Because that as well, I mean, he never got near the target, just like this guy never got near the target. This one, though, has video evidence. So, it has video of the attempt or the actions of said individual. Crisis actor Cole Allen is what I'll call him. And some of the worst breaches and mental lapses in security of all time. Of all time. On both this and the Butler, Pennsylvania, that puts the whole thing in question, and it should put it in question for you, the viewer. You should question it. You have Caroline Leavitt talking about how there's going to be shots fired tonight. And then you have a reporter named Ashan Hasni, who was at the event, and she's talking on Fox News, and they're asking her about what happened, and she said that Caroline Leavitt's husband looked at her before this event kicked off, talking about the people's safety, and then the air cut her off. The news agency cut her off. They cut off what she was saying. And didn't allow her to elaborate anymore. You have Donald Trump and Melania Trump. And then you have this comedian with a cue card go up to them, holding a cue card in front of them, moments before the so-called event kicked off. Moments before the Secret Service ran in there and covered everyone. Covered the potential targets. And then you have the video evidence of what happened with crisis actor Cole Allen. And none of it makes any sense, ladies and gentlemen. These lapses in security are intentional. That's the only thing I can come up with, because I'm in the field of course they stage events, of course they do these things, but if you're not in that field, if you don't believe in that stuff, you have to admit the obvious, that some of the most incompetent people are running security for the President of the United States in Washington, D.C. Period. Some of the most incompetent people are carrying guns around. Have no business being in positions that they're in. But I don't believe that. I believe 100% that it's all staged, it's all theater, it's all theatrics. To keep the people in a state of fear. They want to keep pushing the fear upon the American people to make you feel like you're not safe and the president's not safe. And they've established the class warfare and the racism, and they've done all those things to fuel the racism, the class warfare, to the point that it's at today, where it's a nation completely divided, with no hope of returning to what it once was, because they don't want it to return to what it once was. Hence, you have your fall man, Donald J. Trump, who's just doing what he's told. Simply saw an article where they unveiled a bunch of so-called pastors and Christian evangelicals unveiled a golden Donald Trump statue. A golden Donald Trump statue. And the man is, aside of that, putting his name on everything. He's leaving his mark before he dies. He is almost 80 years old. And he sees his day approaching. Will he repent? Will he get right with God? Will he seek the Lord? Well, my suspicion is he'll never repent, because he is sold out, as I've stated before and documented before in many of the broadcasts, that he is committed to go to his grave doing the great work. As he has a placard, a relic in his Mar-a-Lago home, near the fireplace where he does, at times, press conferences and whatnot. It's a shield with a creed on it that says, "All my hope rests in me." All my hope rests in me. Simply put, just like all the other Freemasons and initiates of the mystery schools before him, he believes he is God. He'll be as God. Because he follows the Luciferian doctrine. He is a Luciferian, along with all the others at the top. The United States has been completely infiltrated by Luciferians, those committed to carrying out the great work, those who live and die by the ends justifies the means. These people are sex perverts. These people are pedophiles. These people are sex traffickers. These people do the abominable acts that you see in the Levitical moral law. They practice the forbidden acts that are written in the Levitical moral law and the moral law of God. They commit such things behind the scenes. It's known fact. Before Epstein was Pizzagate. And there's been a trail of this type of activity all throughout the last 50 years or so. Ladies and gentlemen, you are witnessing the final days of what was America. That's what I truly believe. As I've already stated, I do not believe we are going back to how it was at all. As I've stated in the past as well. If they can shut down the entire country, if they can cause the entire country to come to a standstill by an invisible disease, how much more by the most frightening of events, like they did on 9/11/2001, to paralyze the American public. And while that false flag that just took place recently, I knew there was a false flag on the horizons. This is a more smaller scale false flag event. However, there's still the big one that is yet to take place. And it will happen. It will come to pass. They will. You mark my words. They will murder mass amounts of people to get exactly what they want, to get the end result they want. They will. That's the type of people you're dealing with. They have completely incrementally over a period of time, through silent weapons for quiet wars, decimated the American people through propaganda, through television, newspapers, sex, violence, war. Pushing self-indulgence. Keeping you busy, busy, busy with no time to think. This is one of the many evils out here in the day for somebody who's truly born again, living holy before God, preaching His gospel, preaching His word, confronting evil. Out of all the evil out there, you have this evil that sits in Washington, D.C., posing as your friend, as your buddy, as your pal, as someone that cares for you, while it points its finger at all the other problems. Actually, it is the problem. Silent weapons for quiet wars. Diversion. Chapter 1, page 57. Behold, William Cooper's Behold the Pale Horse. Page 57. Diversion. The primary strategy. Experience has proven that the simplest method of securing a silent weapon and gaining control of the public is to keep the public undisciplined and ignorant of basic systems, principles, on the one hand, while keeping them confused, disorganized, and distracted with matters of no real importance on the other hand. This is achieved by 1. Disengaging the minds, sabotaging their mental activities, providing a low-quality program of public education in mathematics, logic, systems, design, and economics, and discouraging technical creativity. 2. Engaging their emotions, increasing their self-indulgence, their indulgence in emotional and physical activities by a. Unrelenting emotional affrontations and attacks, mental and emotional rape by way of constant barrage of sex, violence, and wars in the media, especially the TV and the newspapers. B. Giving them what they desire in excess, junk food for thought, depriving them of what they really need. 3. Rewriting history and law and subjecting the public to deviant creation, thus being able to shift their thinking from personal needs to highly fabricated outside priorities. These preclude their interest in and discovery of silent weapons of social automation technology. The general rule is that there is profit in confusion. The more confusion, the more profit. Therefore, the best approach is to create problems, then offer the solutions. That's exactly what's happening right now, is it not? This is exactly what's been happening, is it not? I've brought this out in a prior broadcast, but I'm bringing it out again because of the relevance of it. This is exactly what they do. They do the same thing, same trick over and over and over again, and no one learns. And the people that do learn, the people that do understand, the people that do see it, and the people that point their finger and say, it's deception, conveniently are the ones that are written off, are the ones that are said they're crazy, are the ones that are rebellious to authority. are the ones that are not stable. Diversion summary. Media. Keep the adult public attention diverted away from the real social issues. Captivated by matters of no real importance. There that is again for the second time. Matters of no real importance. Can you think of any? Can you think of any matters of no real importance that go on in the United States of America? Can you think of any? Schools keep the young public ignorant of real mathematics, real economics, real law, real history. Entertainment. Keep the public entertainment below a 6th grade level. Work. Keep the public busy, 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 busy with no time to think, back on the farm with the other animals. This is right out of their playbook, ladies and gentlemen. Table of strategies. Do this. Keep the public ignorant. Less public organization. Maintain access to control points for feedback. Required action outposts, prices, and sales. Create preoccupation. Lower defenses. Attack the family unit. Control the education of the young. Give less cash and more credit and doles. More self-indulgence. More data. Attack the privacy of the church. Destroy faith in this sort of government. Social conformity. Computer programming simplicity. Minimize the tax protests. Maximum economic data. Minimum enforcement problems. Stabilize the consent. Simplicity coefficients. Tighten control variables. Simpler computer input data. Greater predictability. Establish boundary conditions. Problem simplicity. Solutions of differential and difference equations. Proper timing. Less data shift and blurring. Maximum control. Minimum resistance to control. Collapse of currency. Destroy the faith of the American people in each other. Consent the primary victory. A silent weapons system operates upon data obtained from a docile public by legal but not always lawful force. Much information is made available to silent weapons systems programmers through the Internal Revenue Service. This information consists of the enforced delivery of well-organized data contained in federal and state tax forms, collected and assembled, submitted by slave labor provided by taxpayers and employers. Furthermore, the number of such forms submitted to the IRS is a useful indicator of public consent, an important factor in the strategic decision-making. Other data sources are given in the short list of inputs. Consent coefficients, numerical feedback indicating victory status, psychological basis when the government is able to collect tax and seize private property without just compensation. It is an indication that the public is ripe for surrender and is consenting to enslavement and legal encroachment. A good and easily quantified indicator of harvest time is the number of public citizens who pay income tax despite an obvious lack of reciprocal or honest service from the government. The political structure of a nation of dependency. The primary reason why the individual citizens of a country create a political structure is a subconscious wish or desire to perpetuate their own dependency relationship of childhood. Simply put, they want a human God to eliminate all risk from their life. Pat them on the head, kiss their bruises, put a chicken on every dinner table, clothe their bodies, tuck them into bed at night, and tell them that everything will be all right when they wake up in the morning. The public demand is incredible, so that the human God, the politician, meets incredibility with incredibility by promising the world and delivering nothing. Are you listening out there? Who's that sound like? Does that sound relevant in 2026? Does that sound relevant in 2026, ladies and gentlemen? You, the listener. Delivering nothing. So who is bigger? Who is the bigger liar, the public or the Godfather? This public behavior is surrender, born of fear, laziness, and expendency. It is basis of the welfare state as a strategic weapon, useful against a disgusting public. Most people want to be able to subdue or kill other human beings which disturb their daily lives, but they do not want to have to cope with the moral and religious issues which such an overt act on their part might raise. Therefore, they assign the dirty work to others, including their own children, so as to keep the blood off their own hands. They rave about the humane treatment of animals, sit down to delicious hamburger from whitewashed slaughterhouse down the street and out of sight. But even more hypocritical, they pay taxes to finance a professional association of hitmen collectively called politicians, and then complain about corruption in government. Responsibility. Again, most people want to be free to do things, to explore, but they are afraid to fail. The fear of failure is manifested in irresponsibility, especially in delegating those personal responsibilities to others, where success is uncertain or carries possible created liabilities, which the person is not prepared to accept. They want authority, but they will not accept responsibility or liability, so they hire politicians to face reality for them. Summary: the people hire the politicians so that the people can obtain security without managing it, obtain action without thinking about it, inflict theft, injury, and death upon others without having to contemplate either their life or death, avoid responsibility for their own intentions, obtain the benefits of reality and science without exerting themselves in the discipline of facing or learning either of these things. They give the politicians the power to create and manage a war machine, to provide for the survival of nation/womb, prevent encroachment of anything upon the nation/womb, destroy the enemy who threatens the nation/womb, destroy those citizens of their own country who do not conform for the sake of stability of the nation/womb. Politicians hold many quasi-military jobs, the lowest being the police, which are soldiers, the attorneys of the CPAs, next to who are the spies and saboteurs licensed, and the judges who shout the orders and run the closed union military shop of whatever the market will bear. The generals are industrialists. The presidential level of commander-in-chief is shared by the international bankers. The people know that they have created this farce and financed it with their own taxes, consent, but they would rather knuckle under than be the hypocrite. Thus a nation becomes divided in two very distinct parts: a docile sub-nation, great silent majority, and the political sub-nation. The political sub-nation remains attached to the docile sub-nation, tolerates it, and leaches its substance until it grows strong enough to detach itself, then devour its parent. System analysis. In order to make meaningful computerized economic decisions about war, the primary economic flywheel, it is necessary to assign concrete logistical values to each element of the war structure, personnel and material alike. This process begins with a clear and candid description of the subsystems of such a structure. The draft. Few efforts of human behavior modification are more remarkable, more effective than that of the socio-military institution known as the draft. A primary purpose of the draft or other such institution is to instill by intimidation in the young males of the society of uncritical conviction that the government is omnipotent. The truth is just the opposite, as government exists only with the consent of the people. He is soon taught that a prayer is slow to reverse what a bullet can do in the instant. Thus, a man trained in a religious environment for 18 years of his life can by this instrument of government be broken down, be purged of his fantasies and delusions in a matter of mere months. Once that conviction is instilled, all else becomes easy to instill. Even more interesting is the process by which a young man's parents who purportedly love him can be induced to send him off to war to his death. Those who will not use their brains are no better off than those who have no brains. And so this mindless school of jellyfish, father, mother, and son and daughter, become useful beasts of burdens or trainers of the same. The same. So now you know this chapter could only come in the beginning. Your preconceived ideas had to be shattered in order for you to understand the rest of this book. In this chapter, you can see every step that the elite have taken in their war to control this once great nation. You can see the steps that will be taken in the future. You can no longer pretend innocence. Your denial of the conspiracy will fall on deaf ears. This book is part of education that will give Americans the weapons needed in the coming months and years of hardship as the New World Order struggles to be born. Many will argue that silent weapons for quiet wars is only a bogus conglomeration of words for which the writer has never taken credit or responsibility. Those who do so ignore the self-evident truths contained within the document. They ignore these truths because they are an indictment of their own ignorance, which they cannot face. They are an indictment of their own ignorance, which they cannot face. I didn't even read the whole chapter. I didn't read all of it. But I encourage you to read the whole thing. Read the whole book of Behold a Pale Horse. If you really want to know what's going on, if you really want to understand where we're headed as a nation and how we got here, this is one of many books you need to read. That, as Bill writes here, they ignore these truths because they are an indictment of their own ignorance, which they cannot face. Pride. What holds back somebody from learning these truths and researching with diligence? Pride. What keeps people in the paradigm system of the left-right boots of tyranny? Pride. Pride does. Pride is what blinds the minds of the people from understanding their own reality in this nation. For understanding the people, the names, the faces that they put on screen and tell you that they're your leader and they have your best interests. We're from the government. We're here to help you. The document, first found in 1969, correctly outlines events which subsequently came to pass. It cannot be ignored or dismissed. The document is genuine. Its truths cannot be negated or shrugged away. The message is this: you must accept that you have been cattle, and the ultimate consequence of being cattle, which is slavery, or you must prepare to fight and, if necessary, die to preserve your God-given right to freedom. The last sentence is the real reason why people choose to ignore silent weapons or quiet wars. People are not ready to admit that they have been cattle. They are not ready to admit that they have been cattle. It's just like it's got Donald Trump's number right there. Let me go back and read it one more time. The public demand is incredible, so that the human God, the politician, meets incredibility with incredibility by promising the world and delivering nothing. Great liars are also great magicians, ladies and gentlemen. Been saying it from the very beginning. When I started these broadcasts, when the Holy Ghost led me to these broadcasts, coming up on the 2-year anniversary of HOTT, will be May 29th, I believe. When I first started doing these broadcasts. Right around the election campaigning, when he was making all these promises. And what has he done? He's come through on none of them. Because it's not about you and I. As a matter of fact, he was quoted recently telling you the truth, like they do so many times, right to our face. And many times you have people out there and idolaters out there who do the same thing as the corrupt, established, controlled media. Well, that's not what he meant. He didn't mean that. And they'll go into, they'll have 45-minute, hour, sometimes 2 hours of commentary on what he really meant. And the American people will continue to buy the lies. They'll continue to buy the lies. The division will only be greater in this nation. We are at a depravity level that's off the charts. We are at the people are tired. The people are beaten down. At this point, they can pretty much do whatever they want. Sometimes I wonder why they just don't do it, because it's in the bag. It's game over for the United States of America. 100%. And I'll say this: even if somehow, some way, things got better, it's only because they allow it to. It's not going to be because of some presidential face they gave you. It's not going to be because of some presidential face they gave you. It's because they allowed it to revive. It's because they decided they're going to play their game a little longer. That's all. As we come up on, as I mentioned earlier, coming up on the 250th year of America, this July 4th. As I've been saying for 2 years now, expect the unexpected. Expect the unexpected, ladies and gentlemen. Always be ready for anything. Because like I've made in posts, and I've said we have crossing the Rubicon. That is the point of no return for the nation. And if it somehow got better, again, it would only because they allowed it to. It wouldn't because Donald Trump did anything. So don't be deceived by that either. Don't be deceived by anything these people on, these sickos, these perverts on screen do or tell you. Don't be deceived by any of it. You know, always watch, always be on guard. You know, if you're listening and you've been listening to these broadcasts because you've always been on the fence when it comes to these topics, you know, all I have to say is the more you study and the more that is revealed to you, the easier it is to understand these people have declared war on you. They've declared war on you. They've declared war on Christianity. They hate Christianity. They are Luciferians. So, as always, I do wish you well. And until next time,